So England and Spain battle it out this weekend in the Euros 2024 final. So I thought I would do my England and Spain combined 11. Now this is going to get juicy. It's going to kick off. You may not be happy, but before you do, please do smash the like button and do subscribe. Now let's get straight into this. Starting off in goal, the choices are Jordan Pickford, David Raya and Unai Simon. Now straight away, David Raya's only played one game, so it's going to be between Jordan Pickford and Unai Simon. And I'm going to say straight away, I'm going to go for Jordan Pickford. Now, I know Jordan Pickford has not been, I've not been his biggest fan in recent years, but this tournament, I think he's had a very, very good tournament. I think he's only really been at fault for one goal, and that was the Xavi Simons goal, which, let's be honest, a lot of people could argue that it was just a wonderful strike. He has been absolutely integral to everything that's been good about England, and the main thing that England have done, and you'll see with this team as we go on forward, is they've been extremely defensively strong, and he's been the linchpin to that. He has been the main man in goal. So I'm going to start off and say Jordan Pickford in goal. Yes, don't get me wrong, I think Unai Simon has been very good in this tournament, but I just think Jordan Pickford's probably been the best goalkeeper other than Mike Mignon in the tournament. Just their defensive record has been absolutely insane. Now I'm going to go on to a back three. Now you'll hear me out and just understand why I've gone for this. Now my first defender, I'm going to go for Laporte. Now Laporte, for me, has had a really interesting tournament. Going into this, I was intrigued to see how he'd get on. Obviously been playing in Saudi throughout the season, so I thought you've seen a lot of players that kind of really take a dip off. It's like their fitness, it's like they're not been playing at a good standard, but Laporte has been one of the main men for this Spanish defence. He has kind of been that main man. He's good on the ball, he's good defensively, and I think the only time in the entire tournament where you could even argue he's had a lapse in judgment is in that French game, but even still, I don't think it was his fault. I think he's been integral to that Spanish team, and I think he's been that main man in the defence. So good going forward as well. That's something that he used to do at Man City, and we've seen it so often in this Spanish side where he drives with that ball out of the defence. So straight away, I'm going to go Laporte. Then onto the next defender. I think England's best defender in this tournament, it's got to be Mark Guéhi. Now, Mark Guéhi, even still, he's been suspended for one game, but he has still been absolutely integral to everything that's been good about this England team. He's been absolutely colossal, and you've seen so many times his pace has kind of been sweeping up behind other defenders when they make their mistake, but then he's so good on the ball. You can see he's a leader in that back four or five, depending on what system, but he has been the main man, one of England's best performers, so he has to go into that defence. And then the final defender in this team, I'm going to say Marc Cucurella. Now, Marc Cucurella has had an absolutely colossal tournament. Now, going into this, he's a player who's not had the best of seasons for Chelsea, but I would say the second half of the season has been a lot better than the first half, so he's kind of taken that form into this tournament and been one of the best players in this Spanish team. Now, you've seen Spain in recent years have really struggled to kind of replace Jordi Alba. They've tried to play Gaya, but Marc Cucurella has been absolutely immense in this tournament. So much so he's absolutely carried this team at times. He's been driving down that left-hand side, linking up with Williams, and really been progressing on, doing those overlapping runs and then coming inside and inverting into helping that midfield. So I think he's got to go in there in the back three. Now onto the midfield. So we've gone for a 3-5-2 system. So we'll go for our three centre midfielders here. So the three centre midfielders. We've got to start off with Dani Olmo. Now, Dani Olmo has been absolutely unreal in this tournament. The most goals and assists, most contributions in this tournament. He's got 3 goals and 1 assist. Yes, it's absolutely unreal. And that goal against France was absolutely beautiful. But he's been absolutely integral to this side. And you see when they don't play him, you see how much they miss him. He's been playing that number 10, a bit more advanced role. And he's kind of been really linking up nicely with Morata. But he's been absolutely class in this tournament. And a lot of people have been sniffing around for him so far already in this tournament for his 60 million release clause, supposedly. Now, onto the next midfielder. I'm going to go for Fabian Ruiz, another player who's been absolutely integral to this Spanish side. 2 goals, 2 assists, but what I love about him, he kind of got the best of both worlds. He's got kind of that Spanish technical ability, great on the ball, but he's also got a tenacity, a little bit of grit to his game, which we've seen in previous years, but especially, he's been a bit part player, let's be honest, for PSG this season, but he's really stood up and been counted for in this Spanish side, so I've been really impressed by him. And then on to the next midfielder, I'm going for Rodri. Now, Rodri is the man who can't be beaten. He's still not been beaten now for Spain for so long. Hopefully that may change for England and for me in the final on the weekend, but he has been absolutely, again, integral to this team. And if I'm honest, if they win this tournament, I do believe he deserves the Ballon d'Or because he's been absolutely class throughout the season. He's different gravy. You know exactly what you're going to get from him. Everything goes through him. He's the main man, whether it's Man City or Spain. Everything comes through him, and he plays 120 minutes. And I think even in that Spanish game, he looks absolutely shattered towards the end, but he's still cutting about. He's still winning the ball back. He's still moving on. He's still driving at players. He's just so good. He just cannot be stopped in this tournament. Now on to the next midfielder. Now this system is a little bit interesting. So on the left hand side, I'm going to play Yamal. Yes, now hear me out first. Yamal is going to be playing on that left-hand side. I think he's been absolutely class in this tournament. By the way, I've fudged a lot of players into this team because there's so many players that had to get in there. So Yamal on the wing. Yamal has been absolutely insane, and by the time this video goes out, I think it might be his 17th birthday, which is just mental to think. But you think about that moment against France in the last game, the way he cut in, just absolutely sold Rabiot, and then hit it in that far corner. 1 goal and 3 assists. He's been so good. And the thing is, a lot of people say, oh, he's so young, it's kind of let him take his time. No, he's got to play right now because he's been absolutely crazy good for this Spain side. So often he's been driving at players, and what I love is because he's so young, he's got that raw talent, and he's not nervous at the moment. He's so confident he will drive at any defender. You saw Theo Hernandez. He had Theo Hernandez on toast, and bearing in mind Theo Hernandez is considered to be one of the best left backs on the planet, and Yamal played against him like it was absolutely nothing. So Yamal has got to go in on that left hand side. Now onto the right hand side of this team, I've gone for Bukayo Saka. Now Bukayo Saka for me has probably been England's most consistent player at this tournament. Yes, Mark Gahey, I'd say, is probably the best player, but I'd say consistency-wise, Saka, because he's played every single game and he's been an 8 out of 10 every single time. And you think about moments, I talk about moments with this England team. You think about that goal to keep England in it, to turn it around. That finish was absolutely gorgeous. Then on the penalty, and what I love again, it's similar to Yamal. He drives at players. He's so confident, and he's been absolutely class for this England team. Not only playing on the right, he's played inverted. He's played a right wing back. He's played a right back. He's played a left back in this team. He's played absolutely everywhere, and he's been absolutely class. So I'm going to go for Saka on that right hand side. And now you're going to see how I've fudged everyone in. So my 2 strikers, I'm going for Jude Bellingham as one of them, as kind of a false 9, kind of 10.5, however you want to call it, second striker. But I think Jude Bellingham, you've got to put him in there for the 2 goals and purely down to moments. That overhead kick was absolutely crazy when you think about that. And then the Serbia goal in the very first game. This guy has won England games on his own, single-handedly. You think about the who else moment. But what I love about him is because it's his game management. Towards the end of the game against the Netherlands, he'd get the ball, and in moments where he'd know what he was doing, it was about a minute to go, and he drew players in and won the foul. But he's been driving England on so many times in this tournament, winning the ball back as well. One of the most ball recoveries in the tournament. He's been absolutely class. So I thought I've got to fudge him in somehow, so he's gone in there. And then the second striker, I'm going for Nico Williams. Yes, Nico Williams has been absolutely class again. And what I love about him is, again, his directness. That's what I think is brilliant about this Spanish side. It's not like a Spanish of old. You look at the 2 wingers in Yamal and Williams, they both just want to drive at players. They get chalk on the boots, they get wide and just drive at players, whether they go left, whether they go right. They can go either way, but they've both been class. 1 goal and 1 assist so far in this tournament. Nico Williams, a lot of clubs will be sniffing around for him. I know Barcelona are linked with him. He is a joke. Anyone would be lucky to sign him, and I think it's going to be really interesting to see that battle with him against Kyle Walker on that right-hand side, because it'd be really exciting to watch, because Nico Williams, his pace and his determination, I just absolutely love him, and he does a lot of good defensive work. So I'll run you back through my team again. So my Spain and England combined 11. In goal, Jordan Pickford. A back 3 of Mark Gahey, Laporte and Cucurella. Then a midfield 5 of Fabian Ruiz, Rodri, Olmo, and then on the right, Bukayo Saka. On the left, Yamal, and then 2 up top in Nico Williams and Jude Bellingham. Now I know there's no strikers in there. There's no Morata and there's no Kane, because the 2 of them have stunk the gaff out, let's be honest. I know they've scored a few goals between them, but it's just not enough, and I'd expect a lot more from the 2 of them. So that is my combined 11. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section, because I'm intrigued to hear what you think. But yeah, that is my 11. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video. Please do smash the like button and subscribe for lots more content coming your way. But I'm excited to hear what you think of my team, and I cannot wait to watch that final. So I will see you guys soon. Peace.